I'm gonna go to Death 2 and pull in some noobs and maybe I'll rank up.
God. Can't even take it. Live
What?
D&D?
Oh, why would you
God,
watch Greenleaf?
so dumb.
Oh, you beat the stream. Like, yeah. Greenleaf, I know what stream you're talking about, and I don't know why. Just listening to them play D&D, like they make so many mistakes all the time,
Oh my God.
and it gets kind of.
Why do you even know that they make mistakes? It's so dumb. Look at this. Look at this. What?
Oh,
Anyone knows whose this is? If you were guessing Izza's, you are correct.
Oh, we're doing Izza's project.
Yeah, this is the sample I did
I don't
for
know
him.
if he's earned that. I don't. He's been kind of mean to you too the last
Has
couple
he?
games.
I don't
Yeah.
think he has. Angelic Dark Eldar. Let's take a look at some of these conversion things.
Oh, that looks stupid. God.
Like we've got like this custom fin there on the back, custom thing here going on, magnetized of course, because way better that way. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, we got these Medusae conversions. They're made out of
Yeah, Greenleaf. I've
Tomb
watched their stream
Banshees or
before, man.
Tomb something or others from.
Yeah, don't shut off yet. We're not 9 o'clock yet. Wait till till 9 o'clock and then get all our viewers and stuff.
But I don't care. The only one that really needs to, or that I want to see these is Izza. I don't care about anyone else.
Yeah.
And we got like this stuff. If it would focus, the focus is not real. Oh well. We got stuff like that, and
Yeah, I've watched Mixclips before. I used to play D&D like a lot, Pathfinder a lot, and it's just yeah, it was not as exciting as to sit there and watch them do
or
it.
like this kind backwards.
And their stories are not as entertaining.
It's a basic dude. It's given a more like smooth cloth as opposed to the weird Dark Eldar E-cloth type thing. But yeah, I'm converting.
They do look pretty sweet.
What am I mud about? I don't understand. Here's we got
Joe, we have a big show to talk about today. Big show.
This is one of the things I'm going to be doing today. This homunculus.
Okay, so I think the first thing that we should go over is the rumor.
Hey, what up?
What's
Hello.
Up, Doe or Bo?
And then we got a
what's up, guys?
flying Archon here.
Show officially starts at 9. And we're
Yeah.
gonna be doing. I think we should start with rumor roundup.
Rumor? Oh, right, because you want to talk about the Necron
I
stuff.
want to talk about Necrons. I want to talk about the Harlequins.
Okay. I don't
Because-
know too much about either. I've only mildly checked out the rumors, so you're gonna have to
Okay, the Harlequins.
informate me.
Of course. Hang on one second.
Oh, I will. Okay, Steven's going all on the phone while we're waiting to go live here. But I'm gonna keep on with the painting. Keep on keeping on, you know. Yeah, no Tekla snapshots. Yeah, yeah. I know. I'm happy about that too. And then let's see, what else am I happy about? I saw like most of their characters are basically going standard to weapon skill with skill 5, so that's pretty cool. I don't know if they were before or if they were higher, but
Okay, I'm back.
it's pretty good standard.
So,
oh, can I talk about my first War Machine League game? I played it today.
all right, we can start with that. Go ahead.
All right, so my first War Machine League game, it was a little Khador on Khador action.
Ooh.
I was playing my Butcher 3 list, and
15 points.
15 points, yeah, 15 whole points.
Did you just smash him?
Well, I was playing against Mike, and he had Sorsha 1 with a Kodiak, some Winter Guard infantry,
Oh, okay, so he had a little defense set up.
Well, some Winter Guard infantry, like a min unit, some Widowmakers, and some Cossite Woodsmen. And then my list was obviously Butcher 3 with his Argai, and then a War Dog, a Devastator, Warren Midwinter, Saxon Auric, Madeline Corbeau. Am I missing anything? Ogrim Bokor.
So a bunch of solos.
Right. So his stuff couldn't crack any of my armor, and Butcher just
Kind of went on top of him.
Just did it. I waited till I could have probably done it second turn, but I gave him like a little chance because he's not much of a War Machine player, so I gave him a bit of a chance and then killed him in turn 3.
Well, he learned. I mean, you learn at that point that Butcher 3 is an assassination caster.
Well, I mean, I was kind of filling him in on that fact as I went, but yeah. But anyway, so not too much to talk about, mostly just the Butcher did his thing. So yeah.
Okay, so I don't have any games, and I have a reason why I'm going to talk about it later in the show. But let's talk about the Harlequins. The first thing is I've been a big fan of the Harlequin models since those models alone almost made me want to play Dark Eldar. If they get an actual codex, because I don't know if this is just like a supplement book kind of thing, but if they get an actual codex, I may pick up a 40k force of Harlequin. That is how much I love those models.
Yeah, it's a shame that Harlequins aren't worth taking in the current thing, unless they give them like some ridiculous rules. But if it is just like a supplement book and it's like, here's the Harlequin rules reiterated so you can just play them on their own, then they're not going to be good.
No, I don't mean like a 5-page supplement. I mean like a full codex of Harlequins where they get their own stuff. I would probably go out and buy a full army of them because I love them. So there's that.
I would think that they would have to get some pretty cool newer models too for that to really be a thing.
I agree, but I mean it's pretty, but there's no actual. I don't know a lot of the rumors coming out. I'm kind of just gonna be surprised by them.
Yeah.
Happily supplies because I love them. Another rumor, by the way. Also, it was my birthday. For anybody who doesn't know, on Monday, yesterday.
No one wished him happy birthday. Anyone who wishes him happy birthday gets negative points.
Yeah, if you wish me happy birthday, you get negative points. Well, let's talk about the Necron book, because I love Necrons too. They did lose the ability for extra hits on snapshots. It has been confirmed.
Yeah, that was necessary.
The Annihilation Barges have lost that special armor on them. They were AV-13 until they lost a hull point. They're now just AV-11 all the way around. Which seems kind of weird, because I never thought that was like the most broken thing in the world. I always thought that was pretty balanced. Especially because there's so many things that do like auto glancing. So one glance takes it off. A lot of things got bumped up, like their weapon skill and the ballistic skill, which is always good. I mean, it seems like they just shifted the power of Necrons away from the vehicles.
Mind Shackle Scarabs nerf.
Yeah, and nobody does challenges anyways nowadays.
Challenges are great in certain circumstances.
But from what I've garnished, is not a lot of people.
Well, no, what I'm saying is Necron players aren't building. Why would you build like combat Death Stars when you can just shoot?
Oh yeah. Well now, like I said, I feel like they're moving away from Necrons, and they want more of the infantry play. That's why they gave the Wraiths toughness 5. The Warriors, I think they came down in points. Either they came down or they stayed the same.
Everything's coming down in points. I'm sure they'll probably come down even if it's just a little bit.
So they want more infantry on the board for Necrons, apparently. The Doomsday Arc has to be stationary to fire still.
I thought it was if it moved, it had like a different profile. Or is that something else? Like the rumor I saw was Doomsday Arc was like if it stood still it was 72 inch, like strength 10 AP 1 or whatever, and then if it moved it was like 24 inch strength 8 AP 3. That's the rumor I saw.
It could be.
I don't know.
Hey, good evening, Devlet.
Yeah, hello.
Um, which is actually kind of weird, because I never thought of Necrons as having a ton of bodies on the board. You know, they seem like the more like elite units where they had smaller units that did more.
Nah, that's
But
the Eldar feel. Like, I mean, even though you could bring a whole bunch of Guardians if you really wanted to, it's like that's an Eldar feel, in my opinion. Apparently, what's this?
So I never played the Doomsday Arc, Plasma Painter. I only played the um, Ghost Arc because it was just more cost efficient. But I am really excited that Necrons. They have the new obelisk in the book now, which is like a buffed up version of the monolith.
So good.
And this one has an 18-inch bubble. All vehicles, including flyers, have to take dangerous terrain tests, which is pretty cool. I mean, 18-inch bubble is actually a lot bigger than people think.
That sounds dumb.
Why is it dumb?
Like, dumb to play against.
I mean, I'm kind of happy that they're doing anti-vehicle stuff as well.
Well, I don't know. I don't know that a 1 in 6 chance is anti. I mean, I'd say you immobilize yourself, or, you know, because technically if it's a dangerous test, then you would immobilize yourself on a roll of a 1. So
Don't quote me on this, but I think in 5th edition, they had to, like, if you failed a dangerous terrain test, you had to stop where you were moving, and, like, you were immobile.
Why do you sound so far away?
I moved my mic away.
Oh, because you're eating. Why are you eating? You're not allowed to eat, Steven.
Because I'm hungry. You don't know me, John.
Why didn't you eat beforehand, brah?
Because my fiance didn't get home in time.
Why don't you make yourself something, brah? You don't see me eating, do you?
Also on the obelisk, they have Tesla spheres, which are like 4 different guns that can shoot in all 4 directions.
So like the monolith gauze batteries or whatever.
Yeah.
Only
it's also gonna
Tesla.
It's gonna be like 300 points to take it. So.
Well, yeah. If it's like armor 14 all around and has a bunch of weapons, you'd think it'd be at least on par points wise with a Land Raider, if not more, depending on what other good stuff it did. I like that the rumor I saw that I like is the reanimation protocol is just like a feel no pain essentially that you get to take against anything, and like the resurrection orb is a once per game thing.
I actually hate that.
Yeah, I know you do because it's really stupid.
No, it's not.
It's like it's a really it's basically like a what's it called, a huge nerf to it.
No, reanimation protocol. Well, they said that reanimation protocols can be used even on things that cause instant death.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But reanimation protocols, like, the cool thing about it is, well, first off, you couldn't use it. So it's actually kind of a buff, John, because you couldn't use it if the entire unit was wiped out.
Right, I understand that, but basically, what it allows, or what's a nerf about it, is that if you pass it, you can get shot at still. So it's like kind of 6-1 really, whether they wipe out the whole unit or they continue to be able to shoot at you at the same range. You can't take things out of range or whatever.
Protocols can never go above 4+. I never took res orbs anyways. I always took Imhotep the Stormlord in 6th edition. In 6th edition because that's when night fighting was absolutely broken. He made the game auto night fight, and then he just rained lightning down. Like, Imhotep used to, I can admit this, full on, Imhotep used to be broken as all brokenness was ever was.
Who's their Lord of War? Nemastor Zandrak, I think, right?
No, it's Imhotep.
It is Imhotep, and he's the one that has to choose a different warlord trait every turn.
I haven't looked at him and all his rumors yet.
I think I saw that he has to pick a different warlord trait every turn and use it for that turn, which is really pretty good for adaptive tactics. I think that's what it is. Are you responding to that, or should I?
Yeah, I'm typing in chat. There you go, Deblet.
Yeah, from what I understand, the res orb is one use only, and for that turn, you get to re-roll your reanimation protocol.
What You get to re-roll it, or and it's once per.
What I heard is you get to re-roll it.
Is it a bubble effect, or is it just that unit?
It's your entire army, from what I understand.
Ugh.
One turn, your entire army gets to re-roll their 5-up reanimation protocols.
I don't like that.
Why?
Because I like the way they had it.
Well, of course you did.
Reanimation protocols was different. It wasn't. It's not a feel no pain. The way it's described is that they stand back up in the fluff, and if you guys are going like on fluff and stuff, like that's how it should be.
Yeah,
but if you want to give them feel no pain,
think about it at the same time. Like, oh, they get shot, they fall down, and then they stand up immediately, as opposed to they sit on their face for a while, and then it's like, oh, now I'm better. Like what?
If they want to give Necrons feel no pain, just give them feel no pain. Like I don't know why you had to adapt that.
Because the difference being that feel no pain you can get rid of with certain things, you can't get rid of reanimation protocol. Like you can't, instant death away their feel no pain, or hit them with double their toughness thing and there goes their feel no pain. Reanimation protocol is a different rule because it has different circumstances.
So then it's technically a buff, and I'm advocating for it to go away.
Great.
Because I thought it was unique to Necrons. I thought it was pretty cool. Like, that was the one thing that made us different than everybody else, and then you just took it away from us.
No, they didn't take it away. It's still the same. It's just not as, like, bookkeepy, where you have to remember, oh, I have to roll this many for this unit at the end of my turn, or your turn, and this many for this unit, and this many for this unit at the end of the phase, or whatever.
So they dumbed it down. So they made the game easier.
They made it less, oh, crap, I forgot. Less things to remember, later on down the road, and more just to do in the flow of the game. I think that's good as far as game flow goes, not bad. It's not dumbing it down, it's making the game flow better.
I don't think the game flow got any better. I remember exactly how many models I had to pit to roll my reanimation.
Great, you did, but not everyone does. And you can't go based off just what you do, because you're not the only Necron player.
Felt like it sometimes.
Really?
With all those Space Marines out there. I mean, now I think... I do think you're going to be seeing more Necron Lord instead of, like, the named characters being used. It looked like all their equipment... It looked like, again, a lot of their equipment got cheaper. So, we're not going to be seeing Imhotep, we're not going to be seeing Nemesis, Xandrak, his buddy, so, an Echo the Traveler. So, unfortunately, I think it means we're just going to see more, like build your own Necron Lord. What do you think, John?
Didn't pay attention at all, gotta admit.
I said that I think that we're going to see more generic Necron Lords as opposed to named characters.
I don't know. That would depend on their special rules. And what
It seems like GW is trying to get you away from just always taking a named character.
But then they include Lords of War that are always named characters that they really want you to use.
I know, then they include the Lords of War.
So I don't think your statement is true at all.
Well, when I back in
okay. Well, here's a point I'll make about something like that. Like, yeah, they put all these like relics and stuff in. And they want you to take like the generic dude with the relic, probably, right? But if you think about it, that dude's basically the same as a named character. Oh, it's the Burning Blade Shield Eternal guy. It's the Teeth of Terra Power Fist guy. It's basically the same thing. It's not like it's something super unique, like build your own thing and it's this different build. No, it's you take the relic and it's this relic guy. You know what I mean?
Do you have the Warlord traits for Necrons? Because that would be pretty insane. Like if the Warlord traits are actually good. I've yet to see Warlord traits though that I would just like. Say
yeah, he chooses a Warlord trait every turn, but I think he can choose them out of the book too, out of like the regular book too. So he has like a ton of different things to choose from.
That's cool. I mean, I hope the Necron ones are good.
Yeah, if the Necron ones are a bunch of you know, kind of like the Tau ones, where it's like for this, choose, you know.
One of them is Eternal Warrior. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'm guessing probably +1 strength. I don't know the Necron Psyker powers. I haven't even heard any rumors about that. I could be mistaken. If anybody has those rumors, I'm all ears to them.
Necrons have Psykers? I thought they just had like their, like Cryptex were just like special warriors. They weren't actually Psykers.
Well, I mean, everybody else is getting Psykers. I don't know.
No, they didn't. Dark Eldar didn't get Psykers.
Dark Eldar do not have Psykers at all?
No.
You can't take them?
No.
That's interesting.
The armies that never had Psykers still don't have Psykers, and like Tau doesn't have Psykers. And usually what they get to compensate is like other stuff. You know,
I think that's really cool actually, because Necrons. He's right. They have no souls. They shouldn't be Psykers.
Yeah. So like they had their janky war gear things that they created, like Tesseract vaults and Mind Shackle Scarabs and stuff, but they never had, and like the Tachyon arrow and all this kind of whatever stuff, but they never had Psykers.
But Necrons should be immune to psychic powers as well. They have no souls.
I'm sure they probably all come with adamantium will.
I mean, they literally have no souls.
So, why do you have to have a soul to get burned by fire summoned from the warp? Because they can affect the material.
Because I love Necrons, and I think they should be broken and overpowered at all times, John.
Yeah,
that
clearly.
Is why.
Well, that wouldn't necessarily really matter that much, because the worst psychic powers are the ones that are buffs to your own units. So, it wouldn't matter. You could be immune to all the psychic powers you want, but invisibility will still be a jerk to you. Right?
I mean, I'm actually kind of excited for the Necron book. I want to see them on the tabletop. I want to actually see how they are and what they're, good for and stuff.
Right.
But I'm gonna keep an open mind with them because I'm not sure. I'm not gonna go back to playing them ever. I've moved on from them, but I'm really excited to see them get a new book.
Do you still have your army or not?
No, I sold it.
Oh, okay.
Womp womp.
I figured you probably did, but figured I'd ask at the same time.
I'm thinking about selling my ogres too. All those beautiful conversions and everything. I just don't play them. Like we don't have a gaming group down here for them. I mean, they look really pretty in my glass case.
Well, that was reason enough to keep them.
Okay, so one thing that I wanted to talk about today in terms of gaming is I haven't gotten a game in a few weeks. And one of the reasons why is I'm finding a lack of motivation to play.
Interesting. Burnout?
It's possibly a burnout, like, and I know.
Are you sure you're not just mudbutt about E. Haley and Bradigus?
No, I beat E. Haley. I'm actually okay with that.
Yeah, see? There you go.
But, I do all the things, like, I run a variety of casters, I run a variety of stuff, but I'm finding myself hard. I want to know from the chat, if any of you guys have any of troubles.
I find that I lose motivation to play when new things come out, or new rules changes. Like, same with, like, even, like, video games, like League, like, I would lose motivation to play when there was a new patch and stuff. Like, because I just don't feel like adapting. Like, literally, that would be it. Or, like, I would get caught up in like, competitive anxiety, where, like, I wouldn't want to, like, play competitively or whatever, and that was, like, the only way I liked playing, but I didn't want to do it because I was, like, basically anxious about it. But if I really wanted to play a game, I would play it, I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Anyone in the chat?
How do you guys break through, like, this motivation block? I mean, I still check on the forums for, like, different stuff and read the posts and everything, and I don't know how to break through this. I mean, there's a variety of factors of why. I mean, sometimes I get annoyed, like, the lack of painting people have on their models. Sometimes I just feel like I don't have a certain caster that I just want to play. You know what I mean? There's by plasma. There's just a lot of different things, and I'm not sure how to really go plots. Pick myself back into it.
Oh, right. I have the autofocus. I don't know, man. It's like, gotta just gotta do it. Sometimes you just gotta be like, or I mean, sometimes it's like, oh, I always play against the same people. There's not enough variety of competition or whatever. I guess here's another question. When you had like your car troubles and couldn't go to your tournament, were you like did you end up happy? Yeah, but did you end up being like happy at the end of the day? Like, I'm kind of glad I didn't go. I didn't really feel like playing anyway.
Kind of in the middle. If that makes sense. Like, yes and no.
Like, I have two hobbies for whatever reason are always kind of like draining. Like,
I have drained. That's actually a good word. I feel drained.
Like I know this exact experience with like skiing and golf, right? They're like things that I want to do and I enjoy doing, but like after sometimes I'll have plans to go do it and then I won't want to. I won't want to do it. I'll be like, it's so much effort, to go play 18 holes or go ski for the day. But if I go and do it, I feel like I really like it afterwards. Like I was like, oh, I'm really glad I did this. It was fun.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't excited that I missed the tournament, but I wasn't melancholy that I missed it either.
Right. And that's another thing. Like if I have the opportunity to go skiing or whatever, and I don't, I'm not like, oh man, I really wish I went. I'm always like, I always feel glad that I didn't, as opposed to glad that or sad that I didn't, Maybe that's kind of what you're feeling.
Well, I'm forcing myself to go tomorrow. I'm forcing myself to play and just see if it's a mental block that I just need to get through.
Yeah, just start playing and you'll feel better about it.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe
it also happens when you haven't done something for a while. Like you had a bunch of weeks during the holidays where you didn't play, and so then you're like, oh, do I really need to play? I don't feel like it. I was fine for the past, I haven't played in so many weeks. It's going to be so much effort to get back into it. I'm going to make mistakes and stuff. I have to unnoobify myself.
One thing that I can say about this, Sean, is I've thrown myself into CS:GO pretty hard. Well, I'm very good, but I throwed myself into it.
Yeah. So you want to play that?
I read the strats and stuff. I watch the streamers.
Yep.
But I remember I'm talking about burnout. I like how you and I only play 2 games a day.
Yeah, that's all we have time for, really. But it keeps it fresh. It's not like...
Exactly. We haven't done an all-nighter. I never want to do an all-nighter or an all-day or whatever.
Yeah,
I never want to do a full day because then I feel like I'll start losing the interest.
Right.
Because right now I wake up oh man, I really want to play.
Yeah.
And after that second game, it still leaves me wanting more. You know what I mean?
Right. I agree.
So I think that's a really good... I think we did it by accident because you're right about the time, but I think it's really good at keeping me interested in it.
Yeah, and, well, there was that time when I was doing the placement matches on that account, and we could only win 2 games, so we could only play until we won 2 games, and winning, especially early on, was really easy.
So, when I threw myself into War Machine, I was playing 4 times a week, and I think maybe it was a little bit of a burnout. And I'd come from wargaming backgrounds, War Machine, as much as I give crap to GW and all that, War Machine, Warhammer, they're all still tabletop games with dice. The thinking's different, the strategy's different, the rules are different, but it's still tabletop gaming. And maybe I am just a little burnt out of it. Kind of.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm interested to hear what the chat has to say. If you guys ever get unmotivated to play, how do you get through it? Do you just push through it? Do you just say, whatever, stop being a baby and go play? I have Crucible coming up, right? and I've Iron Gauntlet that for like in 4 weeks on that Friday, and like I should be playing right now, trying to get practice in and stuff. But the problem is the casters that I'm bringing to Crucible, I've already played hundreds of times.
Well,
Not
you could always
hundreds,
just
but
go for like, I mean, I know you want to do well and compete, but you could just keep it interesting for yourself instead of just playing to win.
and that's the problem. Is like you know me, John. Like I don't play anything. Just having fun for me is doing well and being competitive.
Yeah,
But
you can't separate it.
But I already feel like I know those casters that I'm bringing, so it's hard for me to justify in my own personal self like
Practicing
that I need to go.
with them?
Yeah, I need to go practice it. I already know that my Meat Mountain list can beat the Signar. I've done that matchup enough times now. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then and people always try to tell you because War Machine is pretty balanced, but there is a level of if I pick the right caster into the right matchup, I have a really good chance of winning.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely an element of when you compare list versus list, it's not like, everyone has 50-50. There's definitely, like, the terrain comes into it, the lists come into it, things like that. It's not... When you compare faction to faction, yeah, it's anyone can really win. But,
and building on that point, what John said, you're right, like 50-50 in the factions. But the problem is, like, when I go play against, here's my mentality going into Crucible, and this is an awful mentality to have if you're a gamer. I'll do very well in the tournament because of it, or if I do well, it's because of this mentality. I've broken the game down into math machine, pretty much. Okay, so I get to bring 3 lists. And as trolls, I mean, no offense, we are one of the weaker factions. We're not top 4. Okay? So my thinking is...
you're like more than 4 millimeters from the top, which is a big deal in the game of millimeters.
But like I know the top 3 armies played are Legion, Signar, and Krix, right?
Yeah.
So 2 out of my 3 lists have to counter those, which they do. I have Meat Mountain and I have P-Grim. Great. I now have a list to counter the top.
Did you pick up a P-Grim, by the way?
I did.
Good.
So now I have let's call it 35 to 40% of the list covered. Okay? Those are the lists I'm most likely to see. So if I get paired against those players, I'm going to do very well because I have counters to those. The next part of it is I only have 1 caster left now. So now my next part is trying to pick a matchup that I'm more likely to see. So instead of going by faction at that point, I go by, well, what can this, what caster probably has the best toolbox to deal with a lot of stuff? I pick Jarl. He's got Magic Bullet, he's got Quick Hit, he's got Tactical Supremacy, he's got a great feat that puts the game on pause. And I realized that it could probably do well against Circle, since it's divide and conquer. It could probably do well against Scorn. It may do well against Khador. It's 50-50 on that, if I can snipe out some of your souls with Magic Bullet. So that's the way I did it. I'm assuming, though, this is where it gets bad. If I meet a Menoth player, I'm pretty much taking the Menoth as an automatic loss. Because I don't have a counter to it. And I'm not bringing a counter to it.
Do you have anything that does reasonably well against some of it?
Not one of those 3 casters that I'm bringing.
Gotcha.
So
what's your best option?
Jarl. But that's, I mean, I would.
But assuming they can play their matchups well, or know their matchups, they'll just have
an advantage on me.
An advantage, yeah.
So
they'll basically know you're gonna have to drop Jarl.
Pretty much. And they're gonna know it too.
Yeah. Exactly.
But see, that's why it's a bad mentality and a good mentality at the same time. Is okay. I know, like, all right, I've pretty much lost to Menoth.
Right, but that's the bad mentality part. Like, if you knowing that you're gonna have there's a difference between saying, okay, it's gonna be a hard match against Menoth, as opposed to I lose to Menoth, because you're going into the game thinking you lost, as opposed to going in thinking you have a challenge. It's 2 completely different mindsets, right?
I 100% agree with you. And that's also part of the problem. There is I go into that match thinking I've already lost it.
Right.
Which I may not have already.
Effectively, you lost because of that.
Another bad part to that strategy is because I'm assuming it's against Menoth, And let's say it is a bad matchup. I'm not gonna waste my time practicing against Menoth. I'm gonna shore up my like I'm gonna play against Signar, Legion, and Crix and Circle, and try to like just guarantee wins. So if I'd rather win 100% of the games I know I'm going to than have a 75% chance of winning those and a 25% chance. I'm just taking the 25% against Menoth and moving it to my wins.
Right.
That's also part of it. Crap, I had another point, but I'll think about it later.
What'd you do? You lost
I
something?
had another point to that too, but I forgot it.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm not practicing against Menoth, which is it's really bad because you should practice against all of them, but I don't have the time to practice. I want to use the time that I have effectively.
Right. So you're gonna hedge your bets instead of trying to account for everything, which you really can't do anyway.
Oh, and since it's Iron Gauntlet, there's only 32 players in the Iron Gauntlet, and they're doing round cuts after 3 or 4. If I lose one round, my tournament's pretty much over. That's pretty much how it is. If I get lucky and matched up against like Signar, let's say I go like Signar Legion, then I have a very good chance of making top cuts. But if I see Menoth's, call it Scorn back to back, that's going to be a really tough road for me.
Right.
Especially in a Divide and Conquer.
What's Divide and Conquer?
You have to play each one of your lists one time.
Right. Okay.
So, which is really interesting because now the matchups, okay, let's say I get Legion first, right? All right, I'm dropping Meat Mountain. Let's say I get Legion again. Can't drop Meat Mountain again. Now I have to factor in and out which one to go against. So, right. Especially in Divide and Conquer, I should practice my Jarl against Legion instead. To make sure, okay, I want to drop my Jarl, back-to-back Legion, take your chances there. It's really a strategic play. And it goes against my opponents, too, because let's say the main problem that I have with Menoth is Krios 3 and Harbinger. Well, if he's already dropped both of those and I see him in the 3rd round, I might actually be able to beat a Fiora list. I'm assuming that the Menoth player hasn't played the 2 lists that I really just can't beat.
A lot of assumptions.
It's
strategies based on hope are never the best strategy.
Well,
right?
It's based on statistics.
Right.
I mean, I did do the statistics out, and I am in the positive. I'm in the 65% range of the right. So it is the pros outweigh the cons.
Gotcha.
But it is a poor mentality to go into a tournament thinking. It's not good.
Right.
And I would never encourage that. That's my competitive nature, getting the best of me. I've won a lot of tournaments. I took 3rd in a steamroller. I placed 1st in a GW Invitational when I used to play 40K. It's how I go in thinking, and I do very well in tournaments because of it. But there are players that do better than me. Adam Stewart, he does not share the same mindset that I have, and Adam Stewart's probably a 10 times better guy.
Isn't his mindset right now? I take E Haley, I win.
Pretty much. I mean, he openly said that he doesn't even need a second caster. And I know that he is going to Iron Gauntlet, so I'm getting really sad. I can already feel the first round matchup.
Yeah, but you have Meat Mountain, right?
I do have Meat Mountain, and my Meat Mountain beat his E Haley Devil's Turmoil.
There you go. Apparently he needs a second list.
Actually, if I were... your statistics are based on the number of players playing a certain armies and lists. Is that you don't play War Machine?
Wow.
No, he doesn't, to be fair. So it's a lot easier to predict the current meta casters right now for certain factions. Everyone's expecting troll players to bring P. Gristle. By me not bringing P. Gristle, I actually have a better chance of doing well because of what they're expecting. If the entire tournament is just people bringing off-the-wall lists, then you're right, my numbers go out the window, and it's just, it's game by game. But I'm going to go in prepared, and I think that's what Adam does well. Adam is really good at adapting on the fly. I go in with a game plan. I'm going to do this. And if
something screws with your game plan, you lose it.
Exactly. But both strategies are viable, because if nothing does screw with your game plan, you're going to win the tournament. If something does, though, the adaptation player is going to win. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, but don't you think the adaptation player also has a base plan going in, and then they adapt from there? So that's why it's a
I don't think it's.
superior setup, in my
I
opinion.
think they know what matchups they want. I don't. For me, I know how I'm gonna deploy each game against each list. I'm gonna move this way. I'm gonna put these spells on these. I take it so deep on such a level for the plans, Sean. Like I already know my first 2 turns of
So,
each list.
wow, I mean that's like that pigeonholes you so hard. Like
But it
if
works.
one little thing doesn't go as expected, you're it's over. Like that's
Everybody remember
terrible.
the Titans? That's a tiny playbook, coach. Only need 6 plays. Just gotta run them right and execute them perfectly.
Yeah, and if you don't, everything's terrible.
Do you even know that they're 4 math players? Based on the numbers that went to WTC, I'm estimating that there will be 3 Iron Gauntlet Manoth players out of 32. So those are the 3. Steven just prays really really hard to the dice gods. Actually, I rolled pretty average. Honest to God, one game I might be hot, the next game I might be cold, or I'm just rolling 7s all game. I rolled pretty average over the course of a tournament. Um, Another thing that's really like bugging me too is because I'm not playing. I do want to give certain players practice against trolls because it is a different faction than a lot of. I'm the only troll player in my meta, so when I'm not there, those guys are kind of just going off speculation as opposed to seeing it on the table. And I don't want to be that guy. I want to show people stuff and help everybody out. I'm not going to show them all my strategies and tips and tricks. But John is right though. Going back to the pigeonholing, when you play the game like that, you will do very well in most games. Even casual gaming, in casual games, I clean up. Like it's because I do all these things and it's very casual, and I clean up because that's my mentality. But in a tournament, if one of those things, if you misjudge an inch, because you do it so many times, John's right. That throws off the whole game plan, and then I have to quickly on the fly try to come up with backup plans.
Yeah.
We should get a team and show each other. I have a gaming group of not just at the gaming store, but I have about 4 friends that we all get together, and we all share strategies and stuff. And that's how I really learned about Harbinger.
Yeah,
And
and like basically they share all the strategies. Steven shares most of it, holds out a little bit just to give himself an advantage because that's the way he is.
well, you never give away 100% because still want to be a game. I give away 90% to my close friends.
I don't know.
And I don't just hope that things go right because in this game I'm not just hoping things go right because I understand that I could get bad matchups and I have a strategy for bad matchups when I go into the game. But my mentality is poor. That doesn't mean that I'm not prepared for my bad matchups. I still play the game out. I mean, if he makes a mistake, I can easily win. Um, I mean, I don't know. I'm honestly thinking there's only going to be 2 troll players at Crucible for Iron Gauntlet at least, which really gives me an advantage because all these same people are game planning for the same things that I am. If they're smart, there's going to be a ton of Signar there. Trolls are fantastic against Signar. Where I lack is even though I have a Crix drop and a very good Crix, against Crix caster, Crix is still a tough matchup for us. Especially P-Scar. If he hasn't played P-Scar, I can assume that P-Scar is getting dropped.
Yep.
I mean, John, in Kador, what are your best and worst matchups, you think? What is the army you're happy to see on the table? What's the one you're not happy to see on the table?
I don't know. I don't know that I've never even played against every army, so there's that. Actually, have I?
If you're not counting mercs and minions, you probably have.
Okay, maybe I have, but I haven't played against like all the casters, especially all like the top casters. So,
I would think,
I don't know
I would think John Kador hates playing score
why.
because each one of their infantry models can hold its own. They have enough bodies on the board to bring that actually do enough stuff.
I mean, I've played a lot of games against Scorn, and I haven't felt like, oh, this is so hard.
I think Crix would annoy you as well.
No.
I think you would do really well against Circle. Because your assassination is just tougher.
The thing I don't like about Circle is most of our stuff like doesn't have better than like a like Mat 6, right? Unless you take like character units and stuff. So they have high defense, which is annoying. Yeah, I gotcha. I can keep talking, you can walk away. That's how this works. So yeah. Hey everyone, isn't Steven just like super dim? Isn't that funny? So anyway, I'm painting these angelic things. Yeah, look at how these are coming. Well, oh right, autofocus. Not on. There we go. So we got some skin shaping up. We got all the cloths there. Working it. They're getting there. Going places right now. Do this one too. This guy's flying with his wings. What should I do next? Gotta let that wash dry. Guess I could do the bone on this dude. Bone on the homunculus. I get to paint sixes often enough. I mean, it's not like, it's more like I don't paint a high volume of them as far as it goes. Like, usually I'll have projects where there might be one or two, not like, kind of like this, kind of like yours, where there's a couple sixes and then everything else is medium to low level. But yeah. Don't you show the guy on foot. What about the guy on foot? This guy? This guy here? Oh, right. The autofocus is not working. Oh, he fell. Can't. There we go. Okay. That should be good. That is our test model there for the basic infantry stuff. Ah, okay. I'm glad I was able to figure that out.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
What are you guys talking about?
I was just showing the sample model here for Jerry.
Oh, really good. If I can give a piece of advice to all players entering a tournament, always bring an ace up your sleeve. A trick, a gimmick, something not... If there's a meta list, deviate from it slightly. We did actual painting talk where you're gone. Why? Who cares about painting?
You do, apparently, because you gave a reason for your burnout as you didn't like seeing gray models.
You're in the hobby. Like, and there's so many artists and stuff out there. If you're going to pay all the money for the models, pay the money to get them, you know, get them painted.
There's a valid point, I don't remember what week it is, but, like, War Machine isn't as much of a like doesn't have as much of a hobby aspect as like Games Workshop games do, because you can't really do that much with the models. Am I in speakers or something? I keep hearing myself coming back through.
I'm not echoing. I muted the stream, so I don't think it could be.
I have the stream muted too. I don't know. I think it's just Skype or something. Maybe it's just my mic was too close to my mouth.
You should paint your models though. You pay all this money for it. Get them painted. You'll feel so much better. And get a carrying case too. And that, I'm not saying you don't have a carrying case, but you're paying all this money for the models. Why not take care of them? Isn't tabletop gaming in a sense a hobby?
Well, yeah, right. Playing the game is, but what I'm saying is like, there's a difference between just playing the game as your hobby and the hobby being, doing up all your models and converting them and putting like, hours of your time into them.
John, I feel
beyond just painting.
You know me, I don't take the fluff, seriously at all. I don't even read the backstories.
Okay.
My entire part of the hobby is playing the game.
Right, but that's not what the term "the hobby" refers to. The term "the hobby" refers to, painting and modeling your miniatures. The game's the game.
But even I pay somebody to get my models painted.
Right. So you don't actually participate in the hobby side of it. You just participate in the gaming side of it. That's what I'm saying.
100% correct on that point. But that's what I mean is people who take just 100% in the game still need to get their models painted.
That's fine.
I mean, if you put
I think that it's reasonable to, want people to paint their models because it is part of like the whole experience. But yeah, I don't know.
Unless I'm facing an army of gargoyles, and then I can play against gray models.
Yeah.
Like for me, an awesome-looking army is at least as important as the army composition. I 100% agree, Izza. And don't you guys like it better, like when the models are painted and going at it? Like I just get a better like imagination with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 100% on that. Like I like to see painted models, but at the same time, I'm never gonna fault someone for not having their stuff painted. Like,
that's
personally, like I'd prefer it, and I think it makes everything cooler. But I'm never gonna throw like, sly jabs in like, oh well, all my stuff's painted, and yours isn't, so that makes me better. That stuff like that. Never.
Remember, you get the painted the painted models rolling.
Yeah, that's not a thing. But anyway, yeah, quote unquote.
Is
painted
agree on
models play
something?
better.
Holy cow, guys! I think we need to stop the stream and like take a picture of that moment where he agreed with me.
See, Leet Sid knows it.
Yeah, I don't like to paint them because when they die, it makes me cry.
Yeah.
That's true. Mulg, every time somebody targets him, does go down. I shed a little tear.
I don't wanna lose my hard painted models. Like, nothing worse than you put a lot of time into this new guy, new unit, new something, and then
first
they just die instantly, and you're like, oh.
Yes, but you still agreed that models should be painted, and I agreed too. So therefore, we have agreed on something. Burn. That is an agreement.
Burn.
It stops at the narrative, and it's very small, but we both agree that models should be painted. Gotcha, Izza.
Yeah, you showed him. He's never gonna cross you again.
Yeah, he won't. Little noob. The Demon Prince from BTP is one of the first models to die every time I field him. But he draws so much attention. I mean, that is the problem. If your whole army
You are playing him as Nurgle and just jinking on for a 2-up save, right? Unless you're getting hit with ignores cover everything. You should be living. At least statistically.
And imagine if your whole army is painted, guys, they can't target out your one painted model.
Yeah, right?
They still can't target out your awesome Demon Prince.
That is true. They can still get the Demon Prince. Where are you? There you are. Stone Gray.
Tau, bruh. Tau.
Oh, yeah. Tau. Just ignores cover all day. Well, then you should just be hiding behind buildings and stuff.
Elite Sid, what do you play? He's gonna be like, this random game that none of us have ever heard of.
No, that's not true. It'll probably be one of the major ones.
Man, I wish Dave was here.
Yeah, Dave being here would be cool, but...
No, because I want to give it to him now after TSM lost.
He's drinking out of cups. Apparently he was giving you crap all weekend, is what he said.
He gave... okay, so on Friday when Elements lost, he Skyped me. And then... I'm sorry, Thursday when they lost, he Skyped me. And then Friday they won, and he wouldn't get on Skype.
Of course, yeah. Well, that's how Dave is. He avoids it if he can help.
Oh, hang on. So then Saturday, TSM beat Cloud9, and he gets on Skype, right?
Yeah.
And then Sunday, TSM loses, and guess where Dave is?
Not on Skype. Anywhere but Skype.
I play Finns in Bolt Action, but I used to play CSM. That's cool. Not a lot of Bolt Action people.
Wait, Finns? Like Finnish? Like Finland? They participated?
They did.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
For everybody that doesn't know, over the weekend, X Games had...
yeah, MLG.
MLG guys for Counter-Strike Go, and I think Call of Duty as well.
No, they didn't. They had Call of Duty last year, I'm pretty sure. They did not have Call of Duty this year.
So they got rid of that for CSGO?
Yeah.
Which I'm perfectly okay with.
Yeah, that's definitely an upgrade.
Couple of the top teams did not look in shape. Fnatic being one of them.
Fnatic finished in 4th. Stupid Fnatic.
NIP, I mean, I feel like they barely got by.
They were looking pretty strong. They looked...
And then LDLC came along and was just like, you just stop.
Yeah, well, LDLC's good.
LDLC's a bunch of tryhards, bro.
Clearly.
DreamHack and X Games. I mean, I don't fault. I mean, once Fnatic lost in the semifinals, I probably wouldn't have tried very hard either. But I mean, and that's the problem is they go against Team Liquid, and they styled on them.
Team Liquid is a brand new team and a North American team, so they basically had all the confidence and gave Team Liquid no respect and just steamrolled them. They could do whatever they wanted.
Guys, they like John steamrolling me in CS:GO pretty much is how it was. Like they were styling on him, and then I don't know. Maybe they couldn't flip the switch back when they played better teams. They beat CLG, which is insane, but then they lost to NIP and LDLC.
Well, they lost their second game to whoever they played. It was NIP or LDLC.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, and then they, I mean they did enough to get into playoffs or whatever, and then they played for bronze and lost to Dignitas.
To be fair, the game against NIP was they went 3 maps and they were like 16-13.
Yeah, I mean they were close. They just couldn't put it over the edge.
And they missed a lot of shots.
Yeah,
a lot of shots.
They were definitely not in like their top top form, but it was the first major tournament. They had been on break from holidays and the changing of the season essentially.
I think there's another tournament in March. I think
there's actually one. ClutchCon is coming up at the end of January. It was like 6 days from the end of MLG, so it should start Friday. And it's in Denver, so a lot of the teams were staying like basically in Colorado and then heading to that.
I'm not sure if Fnatic's going to be there.
I don't know if they are one of the teams or not.
But a team like Fnatic, when they lose a tournament like this, like X Games Aspen, they're going to come back with a vengeance.
Probably.
They will not take this loss lying down.
Yeah, definitely not. They're going to be out for blood.
So those other teams, like they better not. You better not come into this thinking that you're just gonna roll over Fnatic again, and they have it out for LDLC now. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean they had it out for them since DreamHack with the boost.
That was not cheating. Oh!
Yes,
Stupid dream hack. That'll always have an asterisk by it. Always have an asterisk by it.
Yeah. On their name for doing something that was not fully within the rules.
Even still, the 7 hours it took to get a ruling, not okay. Not okay.
I agree with that.
Not okay at all.
Because it was a very easy ruling of, alright, replay the half. Or, don't do that anymore.
Here's my thing.
It was a very easy ruling.
If you're not going to make the very easy ruling, which John is correct on, because it was a very easy ruling, but if you're going to take more than 2 hours, the result stands.
Well,
at that point, the result stands. You don't just get as much time as you want to make a ruling, especially because Fnatic didn't even get to go home. Like, they were sitting around at the place waiting.
Yeah.
That's a drain on you. If you don't have a result in 2 hours, then the result stands. I'm sorry. And this wasn't a hard decision.
Yeah. So how can we relate this to wargaming?
Cheating is okay as long as you don't get caught, or when you do get caught, you just ask for a replay.
Yeah. Right.
Well, that goes up to my ace of the sleeve. Fnatic had been telling people that they have an overpass strat, and nobody believed them. And then they brought out the strat, and it wrecked people.
Yeah, it's because no one thought that you could see where they were seeing.
And you
shouldn't be able to see where they were seeing from where they were seeing it.
I thought it was one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah, because apparently you like cheating.
Oh, okay. But that goes back to you don't tell everybody everything. The Fnatic has scrim partners, and they tell them 90%. But that 10%, they leave it out. Yeah. If you're not cheating, you don't want to win. Lead Sid is on my side. You're not cheating, you're not trying.
Yeah, well, if you're cheating, you're also willing to lose or be made a loser because you get caught.
Oh, here's something I want to throw out there.
Sure.
It goes along the lines of this.
Okay, bring it on.
In wargaming, play with integrity.
Yeah, don't boost where you can see through map textures. That's not integrity.
No, when I say... Well, first off, they may not have even known that it was a map texture break.
They could have easily asked an admin about it. They could have asked an admin about it. Without giving away their strategy, they could have asked an admin about it.
Let's say, though, they didn't know it was a map texture. For sake of argument, okay? For sake of argument. What I mean by play
the argument is, okay, what they would have done, right? Here's what I've been on, not professional CSGO teams, but a team with people where we played as 5. We look for scrims,
you have a painting question, real quick.
Yeah, I'll answer it. I'll answer your question in 1 second, Jerry. I'm just going to finish my thought here. And what we would do is we'd go into maps and we'd, look around for clever things, like things that, maybe not everyone had found or good places to play. And the first thing they would have done is had 2 people boost in that spot and had someone down in that lower area, can you see me? 2. And my guess is that the people down in lower could not see them. And that's what makes it exploitative.
Okay.
The only cue they would have had as to where they were, at first they had no idea.
Well, they took damage. They did take damage from shots.
Right, because they were spamming. They were looking for, once they shot the scout, you can see where it's coming from, so you can kind of point in that direction and just shoot. And they must have figured, it must be from up there, because that's where a bomb site is, so that must be where their general area is. So, I mean, you can spam through stuff like that, especially if you can shoot scouts through it. So, that's the thing about it, right? They would have done all that sort of stuff to see, Oh.
What I kind of meant by the play with integrity was more on the winning and losing side.
Okay.
Regardless of how the game goes, you always shake your opponent's hand. You don't take it home with you, kind of thing. If that makes sense.
And the reason I don't like Fnatic is because after that whole thing, no, they after the whole thing, when the decision was finally, okay, replay the half, They were like, no, and they left. They were little, you know.
That's a different. That's a
little.
whole.
They were little babies about it. They were little babies about it.
Whole different situation.
Well, playing with integrity would say, okay, we'll replay because that's your decision because this may not have been fully within the rules. You're not disqualifying us, but you are, you know. But this is your decision and we should abide by it. Not, we don't like your decision, so we're leaving. I don't want you guys to play with my ball. I'm taking my ball and going home.
I don't think LDLC cares.
Well, of course they don't.
I don't think that was against
LDLC was ready to you know, play it out. Anyway, okay, so a good way to paint
Burning Blade.
A good way to paint the Burning Blade. Actually, I have a good example. 1 second.
Womp womp. Hey guys, when John gets back, I'm gonna be taking off.
Alright, so this is how I did the Burning Blade for my...
John,
what?
I gotta peace out.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
I'm gonna say goodbye.
Yeah, take it easy, man.
Bye guys, I love you guys so much. I will be here next Tuesday as well. Get some painting tips from John since I won't be here, and it's what you guys all come for.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the way the dice rolls.
So this is how I painted the Burning Blade for this Blood Raven Chapter Master that I did, or Captain, whatever you want to call him. And let's see if I can find a guy I can do one on real quick. That's another thing. BRB. Alright, so I have this guy here. He's one of the Calgar Honor Guard guys. I'll just do it on his sword. Now I'm going to do it the colors that the basic power weapon stuff in the army is going to be, which is going to be like this blue. This here's like a basic guy for the Blood Ravens here. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Here's a basic guy for the Blood Ravens. So it's going to be in blues, but you can do the exact same thing with the oranges and reds. Oh, sorry. How about... Oh, jeez, look at that. How about that? Is that better? That's 50%. Is it still too loud? I'm gonna wait for the answer before I go on. Maybe I'll turn it way down. Alright, we're gonna go with that and assume that that's good. So you can do the same exact thing with the kind of reds and oranges as I'm gonna do with this one. So starting from black, I'm gonna pick three or more. In this case, I'm gonna pick more than three. I'm gonna pick four bright colors. Okay, so I have this turquoise, electric blue, sky blue, and white. Okay, turn it down even more. Okay, so I'll start with the turquoise. In this case, this could be like a good good colors I would pick for like the Burning Blade that I did here. Let's see, what did I do? I used scarlet red, this red, orange, fire orange, and then I think I did white as well. So I did these to do the Burning Blade. Let's see here, these and this. Okay. So, starting with the turquoise, I'm just going to grab just some sort of I'm just going to use this brush and kind of dry brush on here. And I do always go in diagonals and just kind of pick a few spots to go diagonally with and even leave spaces where there's just black. So it kind of ends up like that, okay? I do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so we have something like that right there. Alright, and then I'm going to go up to my next color, and then the point of this color is to be inside of the other color effectively, so I'm going to grab a slightly smaller brush that'll probably do the rest of the sword with here. So I'll take my brighter color and go inside, just on the same kind of brushed angles. I'll just show you what it looks like there. So it just looks like that for now. Okay. And then grab my sky blue, do the exact same thing basically, just smaller, more focused. And then I'll show that off here, so you can see it's, you know, brightening up. Even this side could probably use a little bit more of a presence. And then the last thing is the white, which I think I still have some on my palette actually, so I'm just going to grab some of that, which gets the same treatment at first, where we'll do our like diagonals and kind of just highlight the general area. And then I'm going to grab this small brush here to do edging with the white. Now I'm going to edge the sword. So in this case we'll just run the brush along the edges to pick out like the edges. That's the general idea there. This sword's kind of a weird shape, so it's kind of, and this sword actually has like a couple different ways it runs down to the hilt, so kind of follow both of them as far as you can. And then I like to actually go back with like the more heavy white that's less of a dry brush and do like the diagonal again, just to kind of create like the really bright spots. Yeah, and then you get this sort of look here, kind of rough. This one looks better. Where you kind of get, you can see like the edging on the sword and stuff. But yeah. Actually, here I want to show this too. This is this. I did this apothecary for this Blood Raven army today. Pretty happy with him. Very bright. He's very white. All right. There was that. Hopefully that was good and not terrible. Okay, so I'm gonna grab some silver here to do continue on these Dark Eldar. Probably do just like a little bit more here before I have to take off as well. So to mimic this sort of angelic look, I'm trying to, or to do this angelic look, I'm not really copying anything. This is a pretty unique concept as far as it goes. I'm using silver to highlight the kind of brassy area of the armor too, to make it like this pale, very pale, pale gold type look. So it almost homogenizes slightly, but that's kind of what you'd get with like an angel, where you like, you know, the what's it called? The light hits them, or they're emitting light effectively. So that's what we got going on there. And we'll do the homunculus here real quick with some silver as well on his metal. I'm glad this is a big fan of the brassy silver. That's kind of what's important, right? So we've got our homunculus. Why won't it? Alright, we're gonna change to... There we go. Oh no, I didn't even do his feet when I highlighted all his skin up. I'm so dumb. Must do feet. Still haven't decided what color I want to do this guy's like leg wrappings and arm wrappings. I'm almost leaning towards like a pale red or something. And his hair too. His hair's probably gonna end up being like a very almost like maybe like a platinum blonde type look, where it's like so blonde it's almost white. Does that sound good? That sound like something that would work? Maybe. Oh, cool. Alright. Good. And white was the last thing I did. Or close to it anyway. Now he's got his feet done too. Perfect. Alright. Well, I think that will be all for the day anyway. We got some good chatting in. Stephen bailed on me. Did a cool little tutorial there. Painted these cool Dark Eldar miniatures. Come on, you can do it. How about this? There we go. Painted these cool looking Dark Eldar miniatures. Well, not fully, but we got a good, decent way through them. And hopefully the client likes them. I'm totally happy to do tutorials that people want to see. I don't want to just like I used to just kind of like come in with like some certain like technique or whatever I was gonna do, and I would do it, but then like 10 shows later all those were gone. So I'm perfectly happy to go back through ones that people want to see. So yeah, basically on these guys still gotta finish up some of the major fields and then put in like the blue sorcery glow that we have going on this guy with like the vials and the eyes and the gun and the little thing. I would do non-metallic metals if I was really any good at them, but I'm really not. Yeah. I mean, I could do like paint stations like, here's how you paint an ultramarine. Here's how you paint a blood raven. I've got lots of blood ravens. I actually just did a couple ultramarine characters. Actually, I'll show those real quick before I go. So here's a Calgar I did recently. Pretty happy with how he turned out. Oh, cool, you did. And then here's Tigurius. Come on. Yeah, did that banner freehand myself. It doesn't matter who's calling. All that matters is you pick up your phone. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you next week. And for anyone tuning in on YouTube, you should come join us live if you can. Leave your comments on the videos, and when one of these times I'll go through and answer some comments, or if people want to see certain techniques or whatever, leave them there. That'd be great. So thanks everyone, and we will catch you on the next one.